All right, folks, so today I went out and rode the name dropper, because I wanted to beat up my name dropper versus my signal or my Arbor draft. So I thought, you know, hey, I could just switch out my bindings, get back on the hill, and ride, right? Today we got 6 inches of fresh snow. We don't have the steepest hills here in Minnesota. I'm going to call them hills because they're not mountains. I did originally say that I don't ride a wide board because the boards that I like, the flex in them, definitely, or they don't, you know, I want more flex. I want the flexiest board as I possibly can because it allows me to twist and turn the board in a way that I want to. And that's my opinion. For you, do whatever is best. Of course, experimenting is the best thing with snowboarding. That's why they always say take your bindings and put them as far out as you can and then bring them as close as you can and then keep on testing where your bindings should be for your stance width, and we'll do a video on that. That being said, if you are riding in powder, and so I originally said that it didn't affect me. Today in the powder, I was getting toe drag on the name dropper. I wear a 13 and I have a large binding, so boot, where'd the boot go? So that's how big my boot is, you know, and if you can see this thing goes across the board. We'll do it on the backside, right? So I had toe drag, and originally with the groomers that we have, I don't have toe drag too much, or with the park and the signal, but with the powder today, I had toe drag to the point where I was holding an edge and almost lost it and crashed because my toes were dragging, right? So if you're riding powder, definitely go out and demo boards on width if you have large feet. That being said, you know, for me, the powder's going to be beat down by, you know, tomorrow or the next day. So I'm not too worried about the signal or the park, or not the signal, park board, or the Arbor draft. Let's see if the Arbor draft is, let's see if it's any wider. Yeah, so it's not much. You can see it's maybe like half an inch, if that, or quarter of an inch wider at the binding section. So the signal is wider. I don't want to walk off camera to get the Arbor draft, but today was an interesting day, I'd have to say. I did not enjoy it, and that's part of snowboarding. We're doing a video also on, you know, how to become better at snowboarding. I did not enjoy today riding because I did boxes a few times. One, this board, I don't think I've waxed it since I bought it in 2017. In the spring of 2017, it has the original wax on it. It doesn't look too dried out. I'll bring it up close. You can see a little bit. Yeah, it gets dark there. So you can see a little bit of how it's dried out. That being said, it was extremely wet today. It's 30 degrees. It just snowed. And this board was slow. It was really slow, and I didn't care for that. Besides the toe drag, the flex, that torsional flex, I think was affecting me. That all being said, I'm not getting rid of it yet. Okay, so come this week, coming week, I will put the bindings back on it and go back through it and try it on the groomed and see how it responds and everything. If I keep on going back and forth and finding I ride better on the signal or the Arbor draft, I'll just get rid of this thing. That being said, you know, I'll just sell it. I'll do a video on how much I paid for it and how much I sold it for after I get done. If I do sell it, you know, I originally wanted to keep it. I didn't. When I did the flex test on it, I was impressed. It didn't have the torsional that I wanted. That being said, I am happy I have spent the money on the signal and on the Arbor draft because my riding got better, and I want to see, I'm going to take the signal out tomorrow. We're supposed to get more snow. So I'm going to see if my riding, and I got better when I started on the signal. I got better even when I hit the Arbor. And I don't know if that's because I improved and the climate was the same and the temperature was the same. But that being said, we are going to take the bindings off this today, and we are going to go back to the signal. And then we'll go back to this next week on the hard packed, and see if it continues if just not riding it, or you know, if I'll wax it. One, I'll wax it. Two, I'll take it on the hard packed again and see if it responds the way that it was today, which I was not happy with. So if it gets 2 days of unhappy riding and the Signal and the Arbor are riding better, I'll just get rid of it and stick with those two. I did want to keep it originally because I did like the board. The funny graphics are kind of cool. And you know, it's a Burton, but to me, after riding today, after riding my Arbor for so long, yeah, I couldn't pop as much as I want. Oh yeah, the flat camber, right? So doing, yeah, the flat camber compared to the parabolic is something interesting. So that we'll find out more about tomorrow when I take the Signal back out, because that parabolic rocker on that Arbor Draft gets your board out of the snow better, and this flat is definitely harder to ride. And maybe that's me, maybe that's my skill level, but regardless of where you're at in your skill level, the difference between a camber board and a flat camber, or a camber rocker versus a, you know, flat camber, maybe that's it. Maybe that's why my riding got better with the Arbor Draft. So once again, testing and going through this, we will find out what works better. All right, stay tuned for our next, or for more videos on this as I experiment, get better at snowboarding and whatnot. All right, till next time, this is Dale.